it's a Ranger, but it's not a Ranger. Yes. So today we are reviewing the VW Pan Americana 3-liter turbo diesel V6 4Motion Amarok. That's a long name, but it's an Amarok V6, and as you can see on the side here, it says Pan Americana. So let's start on the exterior, and what do you guys think about this Pan Americana look? So if you watched my previous review where I had the Amarok style, I was supposed to get the Aventura, but unfortunately it had some windscreen problems, so at least they gave me a V6 substitute. Back with this one, it has this all-terrain wheels, man. I mean, just look at that, and these are 18 inches. For off-roading, it's perfect. The Aventura has bigger rims than this, and that's the spec I was looking forward to, as I've decided that these vehicles are not really no longer for off-roading, but they are really for lifestyle. So the V6, the V6 variants in terms of the Amarok, they have this IQ lights. The IQ lights I was complaining about in the Polo. If the Polo had those, but it's a different system. Same system, different look. I mean, and as you can see here, we have the V6 badging. But generally, man, I don't want to go too much into detail in terms of how this is arranged and all that. I feel like I did that enough in my previous review. Let's talk about how I feel like about the Pan Americana. So, as this is the Pan Americana, I feel like Pan Americana for me is just a name visualizing the continent of America, and how big it is, and you can travel on it, even though it has its rugged edges and all that. So that's my vision of the name Pan Americana, and basically this is the off-roading version, but with a bigger engine. I mean, it has the luxury, but on the outside it's still a bit rugged. It takes people ask me like, dude, what's the difference between this car and the car you had last week? And I'm like, bro, I kept quiet. 2 minutes later, like, oh man, I see the difference, man. I mean, at the back, obviously, you can see here, it's the V6 and the Amarok styling around. 4Motion, But compared to the style which I had last week, man, it's still basically the same. Just the alloy rims, those ones are shinier, these ones are darker. Because if you go off-roading a lot, this will get scratched evidently over time. We still have these steel bars from the style. If it was the Aventura, it has a spoiler sort of. So a lot of people were confused about that. I'm like, no. So instead of just having the V6 Amarok in that good looking style that it has, for example in the Aventura, in the previous generation we were not able to really see the differences that much, except in the rims. But now with the Pan Americana, you really do notice the differences in what this is meant for compared to the Aventura. Basically it's still the same car, don't get me wrong, man, don't get me wrong, still the same car, but yeah, in terms of the looks, I feel like compared to the style that I had last week, many people preferred that color, and I think I would sort of agree with them. But the way this car has been sort of like an undercover beast, I feel like these days I've been going more for the low-key look, and this is just it. Those that know will know that you're a hot man. Yet, let's hop into the interior. So, hopping onto the inside, I hope you guys can see everything. The interior is still the same, everything is the same. There's just a few different things I can show you guys. So obviously, as you get that, we have that nice V6 lighting up. So at first I did not like this engine because I was driving it in the Everest 12 Trek, and I felt like because it didn't have space at the back, or should I say space, it had weight at the back, unlike the Bakkie, which does not really have that much weight at the back. It did not feel as good. So with this one, I mean, we can even rev it, or let me just try and put the gear just for you guys. There's some turbo sound. Yes, that's the sound I wanted you guys to hear. So when you drive, I mean, let me try giving you guys a test drive quickly. Yes. So you see that, and this car feels different. Yes, I know we have a Harman Kardon sound system, which I'm not really fond of. Weirdly, I was speaking to some car reviewers at the Ford Puma launch, and yeah, they had different thoughts. But to the style, this is a whole styling package. This is the Harman Kardon. For me, if you want to hear the Harman Kardon sound system, you have to really play the music really high, which I don't really like doing that much. But one thing I wanted to show you guys is, you see here, we changed the modes, right? Now look at this. We have normal, unlike in the style. Look at this. We go eco. We have a system there. We go mud and ruts, that's switch to 4x4, and we have that snow deep. I mean, look at that. eco, we come back to normal. And one thing I don't like though is the fact that it has to show this 4x shifting in progress, and it's sort of like, for me, maybe dumps down the animation, but I really like this trick. Yeah, that whole function is the different part in here. The sound system, the interior is still basically the same in everything, but now it's, and also the 4-wheel all auto function. I like this function. We learned about it in the Wild Track launch. Doesn't want to, oh, it's because I'm not in normal mode. Let me go to normal mode and it will show that, and I can go to 2-wheel high. That's your normal driving mode. And you know, we have your pitch and roll systems there. There's many things you can use in this car, but I feel like, oh yeah, the 360 camera, something I almost forgot to talk about. Look at that. And it stops. Wow. And it's grasped the back of me, so don't think I'm being unsafe. But anyway, we go forward. I'm still talking about these V6, guys. Now, if you feel like the Amarok is a bit too expensive, or the V6 variant specifically, when you log onto the Volkswagen website, you can configure your own Amarok where there is 6 variants, and all starting at different price points with different amenities. But when I log onto the press pack website, it shows up to 15 different variations. So head up to your dealership and find what that suits you. Moving on to the Volkswagen Amarok Pan Americana competition, the closest I could get, it was quite difficult to actually pen this one out, was the Toyota Hilux 4-liter V6 4x4, the Ford Ranger 3-liter V6 Wild Track, and I couldn't find any other latest V6. I just used the Isuzu 3-liter extended. Now, looking at price, obviously we can see the Amarok is the most expensive, with the Isuzu being the cheapest. Obviously doesn't have the big V6, so we're gonna leave it out of that. It looks to be the highest rated car, Isuzu at most, simply because of less fuel consumption and few of those things, which, yeah. Now, looking at the 3 V6s at close comparison, I mean, it's pretty tight between the Ford and the Volkswagen, which is basically the same car. Then Toyota comes into play. I haven't really spotted many Toyota Hilux V6s on the road, but that's mainly because the 2.8-liter GE6 is such a perfect car. And the V6 Hilux is very bad in terms of fuel consumption, averaging around 11.8 liters per 100 kilometers compared to the Ranger and Amarok's 8.4 and the Isuzu's 7.9. In terms of full tank range, the V6 Hilux is doing 678 kilometers on one full tank, while the Ranger and Amarok are doing 952 and the Isuzu is doing 962. So the pick is merely yours. So thank you guys for watching today's YouTube video. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and follow us for more car content. Catch you on the next one.